Boker Tov, good morning. It's wonderful to be here with you on this beautiful Monday morning. And I hope everyone is feeling well today and that you have the opportunity to drop a greeting to others and to me as you make your way here. Boker Tov, welcome to Boker Tov from Temple Sinai. Temple Sinai Congregation of Toronto's daily opportunity to connect, to reflect, and to remember. Good morning, Steve, and good morning to all as we begin our day here together. As on this Monday, this Torah day, we start our day by grounding ourselves in our tradition, both the prayer tradition and the biblical tradition. So let's begin with these words that to our gratitude for the miracle of awakening this morning. Please join me in the Hebrew and the English. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et ha'adam bechokma, uvoravo nekavim nekavim, chalulim chalulim, galui v'yadua lifnei chisei chvodecha, shem yipatech echad mehem, o yisatem echad mehem, yefshar להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. Baruch atah Adonai, Rofe chol basar umafli lasot. Blessed eternal God, creator of the universe, you have fashioned our bodies with wisdom, creating within us a finely balanced network. To stand before you in prayer is itself a fragile miracle. Eternal God, we praise you as the healer of body and spirit. The soul that you have given me, O God, is a pure one. You have created and formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as my soul is within me, I will give thanks to you, eternal my God and God of my ancestors, source of all creation, sovereign of all souls. We praise you, eternal God, in whose hand is the power of all life and the spirit of all flesh. And especially on this day, this Yom Sheni, this Monday, the second day of the week, day when traditionally our people went to market and therefore heard Torah, because we need to be part of a marketplace of traditions and ideas, not merely of products. It was a time to learn, and so we join in this prayer affirming that learning is part of every day. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. V'arev na Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu ובפי עמך בית ישראל, ונהיה אנחנו וצאצאינו וצאצאי עמך בית ישראל, כולנו יודעי שמך ולומדי תורתך לשמה. ברוך אתה אדוני, המלמד תורה על עמו ישראל. אלו דברים שאין להם שיעור. These are the obligations whose value cannot be measured. They nourish us in this world and help us to create the world to come. Kibud avaim, to honor fathers and mothers. Ugmilut chasadim, to perform acts of love and kindness. Bahashkamat bet midrash shacharit ve'erovit, to attend the house of study morning and evening. V'achnasat ochim, to welcome the stranger. Uvikur cholim, to visit the sick. V'achnasat kala, to provide for brides and grooms. Udvayat hamet, to keep faith with the dead. Viun tefillah, to pray with sincerity. V'hava'at shalom ben adam l'chavero, to make peace when there is strife. V'talmud Torah keneged kulam, and the study of Torah is equal to them all. Torah, meaning instruction, it doesn't mean law, because it's not about a concrete and fixed point in Jewish observance, Jewish belief, or Jewish time. The Talmudic story says that even the question asked by a student in the Talmudic Academy, thousands of years after Sinai, even that too is Torah Sinai, is the Torah that was given at Mount Sinai. Torah is something that we continue to create, not merely that we continue to study. And we celebrate that journey as we join in Baruch She'amar, this introductory prayer for Jewish psalms and poetry in the morning, and then continue with the Psalm of Journeys, not only our journey, but Torah itself. Jewish learning itself evolves and changes as it goes through the journey of the Jewish people together with us, with that people. Please join me. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who speaks that we might listen. Blessed is the one who acts that we might be witnesses. Baruch hu u'ruch shemo. Blessed is the one who decides that we might accept. Blessed is the one who has mercy that we might live. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam. Blessed is the one who removes the darkness that we might see. Blessed is the one who lives forever that we might believe. Blessed is the one who saves and delivers, that we might be redeemed. We continue with Shir Lama'alot, a song of moving upward. Esayinai el heharim. I look only upward past the mountains, for my help comes from the one beyond. My help comes from the eternal, maker of heaven and earth. Ever alert, your guardian will never allow your foot to stumble. The guardian of Israel never rests, never sleeps. The Eternal will watch over you as a shadow cast by your right hand. You will not be overcome by the sun, nor abandoned by the moon. The Eternal will guard you from all evil, watching over you. The Eternal will guard you as you set out and as you return from this very moment until the end of time. So as we go on this journey of learning together, let us affirm our place in the Jewish covenant by reciting Shema together. Shema Yisrael is it just that, not formally a prayer, but an affirmation by reciting words of Torah that call upon us, ve'ahavta, saying you must love. We must show our love for the eternal with all our heart, with all our soul, and with all our ability, all our might, by taking these words to heart and teaching them to the next generation, and not just teaching them by talking about them, but living them in our homes and on our ways, when we lie down and when we rise up. Let's join together in these words that bind every generation of our people together. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meodecha. Ve'ayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavcha hayom al levavecha. Ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam. V'shivtecha b'vetecha uvelechtecha v'derech uveshokpecha uvkumecha. וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם. ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם, ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Well, it's wonderful to be here with you this morning. Good morning, Sulang and Seymour and Annette and Eleanor and Joni and everyone, as we welcome Torah into our week, as we see the words of Torah continuing, and continuity is an important part of Torah. We can't merely look at one Torah portion without seeing where it comes from. So, for example, This morning is the beginning of Parashat Vayakhel, one of the last two portions of the book of Exodus. And if we look just at the beginning of the Torah portion, what do we see? We see Vayakhel Moshe et kol hadat bnei Yisrael. Moses, the word then is read into the Vav at the beginning of Vayakhel. But it's interesting that the translation says Moses then convoked the whole Israelite people and said to them, these are the things that the eternal God has commanded you do. And it begins with what is essentially the beating heart of Jewish life is Shabbat. On 6 days, work may be done, but on the seventh day, you shall have a Shabbaton, a day of complete rest, holy to the eternal. Anyone who does work on Shabbat shall be put to death. You shall not kindle fire throughout your settlements on Shabbat. These words have evolved quite a bit. The idea of the death penalty for Shabbat observance is rejected, for failure to observe Shabbat is rejected by the early rabbis. Likewise, it's not understood that fire shall not burn, which is what the Hebrew says, but rather not to kindle new fire. But Moses at this time convoked, he gathered. That's what convoked means. Vayakhel, to bring them together, to cause them to be a kehilah, a community. And under what circumstances did Moses do this? Well, it says that Moses came down from Mount Sinai in verse 29 at the end of last week's parasha. And as Moses came down from the mountain bearing the tablets, Moses was not aware that Karan o Panav, that the skin of his face was radiant uh, when he spoke to them. And that it radiated, and they saw, and they were afraid to come near him. Again, Karan o Panav, a phrase famously misconstrued to mean not that the skin of his face shone, but they had horns of light, which is responsible for the Michelangelo artistic mistake of Moses with horns. But Moses called to them, and Moses spoke to them, even though they were afraid to come close to that radiance of God. And afterward, nigshu kol bnei Yisrael, all of the people of Israel came near. And he instructed them concerning all that God had imparted in Mount Sinai. And when Moses had finished speaking with them, he put a veil over his face. Whenever Moses went in before the Eternal to speak, he would remove the veil. And when he came out and told the people what God had commanded him, the Israelites would see how radiant the skin of his face was. And Moses would return the veil over his face until he went in to speak with God. So Moses is showing the people that his relationship with God is ongoing, that while he came down from the mountain after this profound moment, that through Torah, through learning, through a connection with the divine that we continue through Torah, that shining light continues to shine for the people of Israel. Not that Moses is still here and that we have a prophet whose face is glowing from speaking to God, but rather that the presence of God, the voice of God, is Torah. The voice of God is that which calls us together as a people and challenges us to affirm our connection to one another by observing Shabbat, by making those elements of rest and spirituality and connection to the eternal, that those elements need to be what gives our people that sense of holiness, even as we make our way together. Well, let's continue to do just that, to pray together as we turn to words of prayer for the soldiers of the IDF. This is an incredibly tense time where we will learn whether or not this painfully long war initiated by a cruel terrorist Hamas and their evil allies will be allowed to end or whether it will continue. It has been the goal of Hamas to get Israel to fight an ongoing war from the beginning, and with not only disinterest in the well-being of their own people, but actively desiring that suffering be inflicted so that it could try to undermine the standing of the state of Israel. Painfully, much of that has happened, but we stand with those who continue today to have to live these difficult choices, to have to show strength and commitment to fighting for the security of the people of the state of Israel and the state itself, because without strength, no security is possible. Please join me in this prayer that their commitment will help lead to a greater stability and end to violence and more peace for all concerned. מי שברך אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, אמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא יברך את חיילי צבא ההגנה לישראל ושאר מגיני עמנו העומדים על משמרתם. ישמרם הקדוש ברוך הוא ויצילם מכל צרה וצוקה ומכל נגע ומחלה, וישלח ברכה בכל מעשה ידיהם. ויקוים בהם הכתוב, וכיתתו חרבותיהם לעתים, וחניתותיהם למזמרות, לא יישאו גוי לגוי חרב, ולא ימדון עוד מלחמה, וישבו איש תחת גפנו, ותחת תאנתו, ואין מחריד ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless the soldiers of the IDF and all who stand on guard for us. May the Holy One guard them against all difficulty and distress, injury and illness. May all of their actions bring blessing, fulfilling the prophet's words. Let them beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Let nation not lift up sword against nation, and may they learn war no more. May also under a vine or fig tree, with none to make them afraid, and together we say, Amen. Well, having had the opportunity to say this prayer of Mishaberach, the one who historically blesses our people when they must stand up, we also ask God's blessing for those on a journey they have not chosen, a journey of healing and need of strength, who are either ill or injured or unwell or isolated, those in our immediate family and circle of friends, those who've been injured throughout this war forced upon us, for all those who are forcibly isolated by the cruel terrorist Hamas and their allies, who continue to hold hostages and even hold families hostages by holding the deceased bodies as hostage. For each of them and all of them, we turn to these words of refuah. And so for the words given to me and for the names, given to me and given to Temple, for the names placed in this chat and in other chats and other services, we turn to all these words of refuah for all in need. מי שברח אבותינו אברהם, יצחק ויעקב, ואמותינו שרה, רבקה, לאה ורחל, הוא ירפא את כל מכותינו. יהי רצון מלפניך, אדוני אלוהינו, להחלימם ולרפאותם, וישלח לנו מהרה רפואה שלמה ותרת שלום, ונאמר, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors bless and heal all who suffer. May it be the divine will to provide healing and strength. Reveal to us the holiness of life, the wholeness of shalom, and let us say together, Amen. Well, we turn from this opportunity to connect and reflect to moments of memory recalling those who died in recent days and weeks, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have taken into our hearts with our own. During the past 30 days, the period of Shloshim, we extend our condolences to the families of Sam Marr, Stephen Diamond, Irving Goldberg, Helene Newman, Michael Lander, Joy Lowenstein, Ian Hart, Rose Weinstock, Ari Hockman, Larry Robbins, Len Kahane. And we also remember all victims of war and terror, including terror victims Shiri Bibas, Ariel Bibas, Kfir Bibas, Hassan Karim Dahamshe, Yitzhak Elgarat, Oded Lifshitz, Ohad Yahalomi, Shlomo Mansour, Tzachi Idan, Yali Go. And on Yahrzeit, on the anniversary of their deaths, on this 17th day of Adar, the 17th of March, 2025, we honor the life and legacy on Yahrzeit of Bernie Battelle, Pauline Dumbrow, Estelle Frankel, Edward Freelander, Edward Futterman, Wolf Heller, Ruth Joseph, Max Keswer, Samuel Langer, Susie Laporta, Marilyn McDermott, Harry William Moroz, Annette Resnick, Shlomo Tatarsky, Louis Tepperman, Larry Ungerman. Zichronam Limracha. May their memories be a blessing to us. Our griefs and our sympathies are mingled as we turn together to words sanctified by memory, words glorified by hope. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemeh rabba, ve'alma divra chiruteh ve'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uvyomechon, v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, bargala uvizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehe shmeh rabba mavarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemedekudshah b'rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'mu. Amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shmaya v'chaim, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'mu. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mumav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'mu. Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and bring comfort and strength to all who remember. And together we say, Amen. Temple is grateful that a contribution has been made to the Rabbi's Discretionary Fund by the Futterman family, observing Yahrzeit for Edward Futterman. We hope that today is a day of strength and meaning and memory. We look forward to seeing you again tomorrow here on Boker Tov. Boker Tov, Boker Ol. Make it a good one.